Hey guys, what's up? Time for another video. I'm late with this one since I was sick yesterday. What do I think about Gogeta? Remember, if you like these kind of videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, whatever. It helps the channel. And go watch those FGC and NBC videos because they took me a long time to do. So what do I think about Gogeta? I think Gogeta was a very mixed bag, to be honest. It's an extremely mixed bag, but we'll talk about that. And I don't know, maybe highlight is too strong of a word, but he definitely shows off some stuff that I've talked about this game in my videos and streams, whatever, when I talk about game theory. So overall, mixed bag. Obviously, having a gimmick, something different, bringing something new to the game. Something new is always at least a little bit interesting, right? So the Dragon Ball gimmick is interesting, right? But of course, then at the end of the day, you got to think, well, you still need 7 bars. And who's to say you're going to do it? Maybe the opponent does it, right? But still, at least there's a chance for it to happen, more of a chance, right? So it's interesting, it's kind of, we'll give it to you. The whole leveling up your super thing, with the taunt thing is an interesting mechanic, I think, and kind of a cheap pop. But of course, remember, every time you use a super, it automatically goes away. So who's to say it might end up being more of a combo video-ish kind of thing, like, oh, I'm so close to it, now I use my assist, all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 which something I thought was very strange. And, I don't know why they didn't try to do, when they're showing off these videos, why didn't anyone try to do a taunt after an EX elbow move? It looked like you have more than enough time to do an EX move, then taunt, then combo the guy. So I would be interested in seeing what does more damage when you compare that. If doing a combo to EX move, then whoever knows what is going to be the optimal thing, the optimal combo after that, or if the little bit of extra damage you get from the super, if it's more optimal to actually just taunt after the EX move, whatever, and then run in and combo because the super does more damage. But hopefully you get what I'm saying. Anyway, it's interesting, right? A different little kind of thing. But you know what? I think nerd wise, he does kind of bother me. And I think he kind of like I said, they shot themselves in the foot by having 2 Gogetas because he's kind of weird. I mean, when I first saw Blue Gogeta, let's not talk about who's not talking about actually competitively speaking right now, because Gogeta's often considered more towards the lower end of the tier list, I guess, many times. But Gogeta, when you look at him lore wise, it's like, wow, dude, they put a ton of shit into Gogeta, dude, right? He has a ton of moves. He's a character that you look at and you're like, wow, if they ever make this game better, this shouldn't be a character that is too much harder to flesh out, because he already has so much lure already inside of him. He should be easy, right? And I think that really fucked up this Gogeta, because when you look at the lure of this Gogeta, it's like, ugh, he's kind of, what is there? It's kind of he seemed kind of like a cheap pop to me, besides the gimmicks a lot. Like, I know some people were saying the super looks ugly, the level 1 super looks ugly. It's whatever to me. Again, I don't know what the fuck it's referencing. It kind of looks like a Dragon Ball move from Goku, almost, rather than like a Gogeta move, or I don't know what it's trying to reference. But I don't know if it looks ugly, but you know what they could have done? I don't know why, because the level 1 has a different animation when you're in the air, or a finisher when you're in the air on the ground. Why not just, since there's kind of a brain fart, there's no red kamehameha or the final shine, why not just say, hey, when he does all this rushes towards you after he hits you down, he does a final shine for one of the attacks and a red kamehameha for one of the attacks, right? I feel like kind of a cheap pop, but at least it gives the fans that want to see that move a different way of seeing it, right? Because I hope it's not a precedent that they're still going to try to put in Super Saiyan 4 Goku or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta down the line, or Goku, Vegeta, whatever, down the line. Because, something I've talked about this game in these videos, these game theory videos, is this game, it creatively speaking, cannot handle that much more characters. Because even when I talked about, when people were like, what characters would you have in the game? And I'm like, well, I guess it has to be a character that has a gimmick or something new. Because when you look at characters in the game as it is now, they're just so standardized and so generic. This game, creatively speaking, cannot really handle a lot of characters anymore, unless there's some kind of gimmick. And look at Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, right? I mean, he's kind of dull besides the gimmick, isn't he? the Dragon Ball gimmick and the level up gimmick, and he's even kind of a brain fart. Like, he's missing some obvious stuff, which is very weird. It's like, you could have just, even after the EX move, fuck, maybe the EX one on the ground in the air, like I said, maybe he does a final shine or a red kamehameha. Just pick one or the other for one, the air version, vice versa, dude, for like a cheap pop to at least have him do it. I mean, this game cannot, creatively speaking, handle all these more characters. If that's your like, oh, were they going to add in a Super Saiyan 4 Goku later or a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta? It's like, dude, what are they going to fucking do? This game can't fucking creatively handle these characters right now. And brain fart wise, I actually thought, again, the gimmick is kind of interesting with the super. Again, will you ever see, how often will you see a level 7 Big Bang Kamehameha, considering you can't have done any other supers before? You know, because it automatically goes away each time you use it. Who knows? But what a brain fart that he doesn't have the Big Bang, 100 times Big Bang Kamehameha with the rainbow effects. Like, is that not a brain fart to anyone else? Like, that is like, I actually think the Big Bang Kamehameha for Blue Gogeta looks cooler. I was like, what a fucking, that's an extreme brain fart. I don't know what they're thinking for that. I don't know. I also think personally, it kind of irks the nerd in me that he is more sassy with the kicks than Vegito. That irks me personally as a nerd. It doesn't make any sense to me that he is more sassy with his kicks than Vegito. That doesn't make any sense to me that he has all these more kick moves than Vegito. I think it's really, I think that's kind of fucking weird. But I do think, you know what, the idea though that he doesn't have a the idea that he's more of a rushdown character, doesn't have fireballs, whatever, isn't necessarily a bad idea, because it is good for the game to have more certain character types. You know what I mean? They should focus on that. And I think it would be good if they ever fix the game to say, and add in more block damage, whatever, blah, blah, to show off different potential character archetypes with zoners, or a potential new character type with those kind of characters that extremely just focus on the fireball versus homing, dash, and reflecting. You could add those kind of character archetypes in this game, and it would help. And so having a character that could be a pure rushdown character like Gogeta and focus on that more could be good for the game potentially down the line. Speaking of kind of rushed down a little bit, I was also thinking, you know, it kind of looks like, you know, maybe you can get some links off the elbow. We'll see how predetermined the elbow is, but maybe hit that little stair key blast, you know what I mean? Hit the elbow late, then link off of it, or who knows, maybe you can just whiff it and then link off it. That's something I was thinking combo-wise. So those were two things that really stood out to me that I was surprised were not in the combo videos, unless they tried and it doesn't work. But, you know, whiff a taunt after EX move, looks like you have more than enough time to do it. And, you know, see if you can link off the elbow, off those key blasts, hitting it in different ways. Or even the key blast itself looks like it gives you a little bit of an advantage. So maybe finagle it to hit a little bit differently. But, yeah, overall, Gogeta is a very mixed bag to me. He shows off the problem of, there's just, this game is very creatively dry, and that you're going to need to keep adding more gimmicks to these characters, because the game just as it is, foundationally speaking, is so dry. The game cannot creatively handle these characters without gimmicks. So it's a very double-edged sword, and I think Gogeta shows that. So it's cool that he has some gimmicks, but from a certain perspective, it's also highlighting a problem of the game. And he also has some pretty big brain farts. I don't know how there's not 100 times Big Bang Kamehameha. That's extremely fucking weird to me with the rainbow effects. I don't know how. I can't believe he doesn't have a final shine or a fucking red Kamehameha, just as you could have added it in as a cheap pop, as an ender of something. So I hope it's not setting a precedent that they're going to try to add in these characters down the line, because again, the game cannot creatively handle all these characters while still making them interesting, which I think Gogeta, from a certain perspective, actually kind of shows as it is right now. And again, I got to be honest, lore-wise, the kick thing bothers me. I know Gogeta's a little sassy, but come on, dude. Vegito, that's his fucking gimmick, dude. So anyway, mixed bag. Some things are cool, some things are bad. I do have doctor stuff this week, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to play, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for supporting the channel if you do. The end.